Hi guys, welcome back to the open air garage. The weather is not really paying me big favors, but okay, it does not rain. Despite that thing over my head, it doesn't rain. Yes, I'm back on Swift. Having done everything that I told you in the previous vid, I took her for a spin and another spin and used her to go to the job as a commuter car. It's really, one drive shaft is absolutely shot. It's even knocking just under load, not even, just going straight ahead, a little bit of acceleration and it knocks. So it has to go, and it has to go fast. Unfortunately, I hit a snag, a real one, a very unfortunate one. This car may seem as 80s Japanese as possible, but no, it's not. And there you have the secret. Magyar Suzuki Corporation, or the chassis number that starts with a T. There you are. Those figures do indicate this car has been built in Hungary and not in Japan or in Korea. Which means, I now know, but I did not know, that this car has different set of drive shafts. Bad ones. The good ones were fitted on the Japanese models and the Korean models, but not on the Hungarian models. So there are no second-hand drive shafts to be found. They all have been broken up. And if one appears, it's sold immediately. So that left me, because I didn't have the time to source a good shaft, I had no option but to order new. So I did. So that's the job for today, to install two new drive shafts. One to the right, which is the bad one to the left, the one that I fixed up in the previous video about this car. So far I've unpacked my tools and erected my workshop. I've loosened the drive shaft nut, checked up the car a little bit. Now I'm going to loosen the nuts, the wheel nuts, take the wheel off, and then I will be back with you. Bye. Okay, and there we have the shaft pulled out. It clearly has too much play. I will show you in a minute, but let me first show you why this shaft would not have passed the inspection in the first place. The rubber here, inner rubber, was no longer holding its grease. There you have it. It's leaking grease here, but it's also leaking grease at the other side. So that is, once and for all, a clear non-approval point. Secondly, there's dry rot going on the rubbers, which is at least a warning, because they are not allowed to be torn, and this one will probably tear quite soon, but that soon one is not to come. I'm going to replace the shaft. So, one new shaft, the upper one, just for your information, and an old shaft. Now lying together, new shaft is going to be put in. Yeah. I don't know if the camera picks it up, guys, but that is hail. Shit. And more hail. So those are the remainings of the hail. I will now resume the job. Damn, I don't like this, but okay. But after the little sprinkling hail intermezzo, it was just slided in place. I have greased the contact surfaces with a little bit of fat. I greased the splines with copper grease. I'm such a good boy. Basically it's now reapply the 2 bolts here, put it back on the wheel, and right side done. I'll be back. So back on the shaft, as you see I have remounted the wheel and I've put on the drive shaft nuts, and now I'm going to talk on how to properly install a wheel without impact driven tools. I don't have an air installation at hand, of course, not in this garage, so I'll show you my procedure. Right now the wheel is hanging in the air, so I'm not able to apply more than just a bit of hand force to the nuts. So this is the trick I use. I have now applied hand force, like I said, and now I'm going to slowly but carefully drop the car a little bit until the wheel tire touches the ground and doesn't spin anymore. So this is the moment now to apply more force to the nuts. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next is the torque range, and I will set it now to 110 to 120 Newton meters. Hold on for a second. Let's see if I can manage to do this wrenching with one hand. The torque range has been set to 120, and I'm just using now the weight of the car, pushing the tire onto the ground, to apply the right amount of force to each nut. At the same time, I'm not using the full force of the car on the wheel, which might allow for vertical slip or whatsoever. So now the wheel is properly tensioned to the knuckle. Next, a very important one, the drive shaft nut. I'll be back. First I will lower the car. And last, having applied some 300 Newton meters of force to the shaft, I've hammered this piece of metal, so to say, down onto the shaft to prevent it from breaking loose. That's how you make sure that a shaft bolt does not turn itself loose. So, job done. Last but not least, bling bling. And when there is a right side, there's also a left side to do. Shit. And of course, as it is spring in Holland today, this time I didn't get hailed, but just rained upon. But anyway, it's in. And what I expected to be the easiest one, the driver's side, turned out to be the nasty one. I will show you why. This shaft ends directly into the gearbox. So this is just slid into the gearbox onto the splines. Now, easy enough, but there is this little, yeah, how do you call it, wire, but it's actually it is a spring, and that is sits into this spline. There you have it. Okay, and it sits around the shaft. It's there to act as a safety measure that the shaft won't easily slide out of the gearbox in case of extreme up-down movements of the suspension. But this time this one gave me good grief because I wasn't strong enough to enter the shaft into the gearbox. I'll show you the marks there. Those are from me trying to push the shaft into the gearbox. So I ended up taking the old one from this shaft and putting it onto the new shaft, which did the trick because it's in now. And once more it starts raining. So I got it done, but I lost about half a liter, if not more, gearbox oil, which I have not in stock right now. So tomorrow I will have to get me some gearbox oil first of all, before I can really dare, I really dare to drive this car. Shit. That's really what I call shit. Sorry for my language, but I'm a bit frustrated. I expected a quick click change, and it was not. It took me half an hour to get the shaft in to the gearbox, and just 5 minutes to get it out, and just 5 minutes to bolt everything back on. Okay, well, it's done. Tomorrow buy some gearbox lube, and tomorrow morning go to the job with the motorcycle. Well, anyway, the MZ is doing a good job, isn't it? I'm going to close off this series for today. I'll put her on the wheel, but I've already shown you everything I wanted to show you. So this is it. See ya.